What's up, SEO pros? So a lot of you guys have been asking me for an SEO checklist for 2017, so I decided to go ahead and make one of those for you guys. This is going to be a live stream, so if you guys have any comments on the way, I'll make sure to answer those. And without further ado, let's just dive right into it. I have about an hour to complete this, and then I got to go to an appointment, so hopefully we can do it in that amount of time. Alrighty then. So, first on the list is to get a basic understanding of SEO and HTML. That means title tags, heading tags, alt tags, bold italics, all the different things that are going to matter for your on-page SEO. You can use something like Mozbar to look at the different on-page elements, like the title tags, heading tags, that sort of stuff. But this is more to understand like the basic knowledge of HTML, so that when you go ahead and start SEOing a website, you know kind of like the different elements that you're gonna have to look at, and if you have to change the code, like just by adding like certain tags like H2 tags, H3 tags, you know what that means. So number one's pretty straightforward, but definitely want to cover the basics and then go to the more important things. So next we got number two, understand basic keyword research. So I only use like two keyword tools. I use keywordtool.io and I use Answer the Public. You can use whatever you want. You can use as many tools as you want. You can overcomplicate things as much as you want, is really what I'm saying. Keyword research, in my opinion, doesn't have to be too difficult. There's a lot of keyword research tutorials that are pages and pages long. I try not to overcomplicate keyword research. What I like to do is I like to experiment with keywords that sound good for the article that I'm writing, for what I think the user intent's going to be for that article, what people are searching, and then I optimize the post for user experience so that people will enjoy it. If I don't get clicks or rankings or impressions for that, then I go ahead and re-optimize for maybe a more long tail variation after looking at my search console. If you guys don't know how to do this, I actually cover how to do all this stuff in my SEO guides, and all of these different parts are actually things that I have made tutorials for. So like understanding basic keyword research, I have a video for that. So I'm going to be linking to all these videos within the description, so you guys can go ahead and check out these different videos as well. So like I said, after as you'll see in here, I say try not to overcomplicate your keyword research, but do spend time looking at user intent and optimizing for experience for said keywords. So all right, next we got number three, understand on-page SEO basics. And like I said, I have a video for this as well. Use a free or paid SEO checker like SEOcentro is free. It does on-page SEO. SEOsitecheckup, I think, is 20 bucks a month. And you can use SEOProfiler, which is a little bit more expensive. I think it's like 50 or 60, but totally worth it. And I also note that most of this stuff you should be able to eyeball. Like for instance, seeing if internal linking's going on, that's good. Seeing if there's correct title tags, if the title tags are in within certain character limits under 75 characters. You know, if there's meta descriptions, if there's duplicate meta descriptions. But the cool thing about SEO checkers is they actually are able to check this stuff a lot faster, so you don't have to spend the time doing this stuff by eyeballing it. But if you just want to do like a surface level overview of the site, like through a site audit, just by looking at the site, you can do it like that. But it is also good to have these tools. And I also have a video where I list all the tools, so I'll link to that. I'll link to all this stuff. And you can see I noted in here, if you're going to be really competitive with your SEO, you will want to use a good on-page grader. And then in my opinion, I think the best SEO checker you can get from what I've found is SEOProfiler. Their on-page grader seems to work really, really well. I've tried a bunch of different on-page graders, and for some reason, every time I use their on-page grader, because it is so technical, it works really well, and I definitely recommend you guys check that out if you haven't. All right, next. We got number four, off-page SEO basics. So of course, you're gonna wanna know on-page and off-page SEO. I would recommend that you start doing some sort of email outreach or outreach via social media with contextual targeting. And what contextual targeting is it's not just asking people to share your stuff or to link to it. It's actually going and saying, hey, I found a post about, you know, a similar topic that I'm writing about. I thought you might find this relevant, and try to get as much information as you can about these people or whoever you're outreaching to. Like if it's a business, try to know like their names, try to know their, what their post is about, maybe a key point you found in that post that was really important to you, because then they're going to think, okay, this person's actually really reaching out because they saw value in our post. They want to provide value. And that's why contextual targeting is so powerful. There's a lot of apps you can use these days that will actually help you do contextual targeting automatically, like Pitchbox will actually go and find the website name or the blog post name or the person's name and insert it in different parts throughout the email. So you can see be a lot more contextual with your stuff without needing to spend all that time trying to figure out who you're outreaching to. I actually show you guys how to do this in, I think, part 7, and I got over 34 different SEO tips for the SEO 2017 complete guide post we made, the skyscraper guide, and that was all through Pitchbox, all through contextual targeting, and I got a pretty high response rate from that. All right, next. We got number 5, get a basic understanding of Google Analytics. And of course, I have a video for this as well. But understanding basic analytics is really important because then you can start seeing where your conversions are coming in. If you set up goals, what your conversion funnels look like. If you're set up conversion funnels, this isn't necessarily things that you actually have to do right off the bat, but this is something you can start going towards. But more importantly, you can see the user behavior. You want to make sure that your bounce rates are low on your site, that your click-throughs are hopefully high, and you can actually measure that through Search Console. So I should have put Search Console as well. That there's a high average page session, pages per session if you have a site that's trying to keep people around, unless it's just informational posts where they're going to be going there and then bouncing right off afterwards. Of course, it's going to be different per industry, but there's a lot you can do. You can see your demographics, like what are the age ranges, what are the devices that these people are using, whether there's more like mobile or not. There's so much you can do. So I would definitely recommend spending like an hour or two at least getting dialed in with what's possible on Google Analytics. Next, we got number 6, which is repurposing content and trying to dive into visual content as much as possible. So I love repurposing content because there's so many places you can repurpose on. And I'm not saying like to the point where it's spammy, but to the point where you're reaching other audiences that wouldn't necessarily be able to find your stuff maybe in one certain category. So for instance, like the blogging industry. So if you're going to be doing a post like this, so I'm doing a post right here, which is going to be text. It's also going to be a slide share for people on LinkedIn who are looking for slides. And then it's also going to be a video where people can get a lot of unique value through video as well, having me be able to explain what's going on. And then also, if they want to go to the post about this, they can go on my website and read about it, because some people are more, some people learn more through hearing, or some people learn more through visual. But it's important to figure out what audience is going to be working best for you, and then also see if you can get multiple audiences by repurposing your content. So this is huge for 2017 because there's so many platforms. You definitely want to try to repurpose as much as you can, but try not to spend too much time repurposing to the point where you're not getting anything done. Okay, next we got number 7, stay away from time wasting / useless information. Now this is huge. There's so much information out there where people are saying you should do this, you should start doing PBNs, you should start doing black hat SEO because that's the way to go. I mean, you guys can do this stuff, but you have to really think, what kind of value are you providing for people? What kind of long-term solution are you helping people with? It's really a shame that a lot of people spend their time trying to learn how to get the best PBN or how to get, the best link building resource, or link building resource would be okay. What I'm trying to say is that by building only links to a site, you're not necessarily providing any value to people. You're just providing value, or quote unquote value, to Google. If you can, try to spend some time figuring out how you can get really good at optimizing for user experience and user intent. Start really understanding keyword research. Start really understanding the basics of on-page SEO. Start really understanding the basics of off-page SEO. You don't have to be black hat to rank people. I mean, you can do really good things by doing white hat SEO, and I feel like people take this as like a game or a joke, but you can really hurt people's businesses by doing black hat, and they're going to be paying you a lot of money that they might lose in the long run, because if you're going to be hurting people's lives. So I don't think it's a game. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's something that people really should be spending their time doing, because in my opinion, unless you're like one of the top 1% of black hat SEOs where you're really, really insanely gnarly at this stuff and you're already really good, then I mean, keep doing it, because you're going to be making all kinds of money. But if you're just getting into SEO, just start learning white hat. It's totally way more worth it. I mean, there's just so many benefits to it. And right now is really the time to dive into this stuff, because that's where everything's going. And it's all really about just providing people with a really good experience on a website, really, or wherever they're going, which is really, in my opinion, kind of a cool thing, where you get to learn not just like the code behind how this stuff works, but you get to start learning the psychology of people. You start getting to learn like what people are actually looking for. It's really cool. So I would I would rather recommend that for you. So that's it. But in the end, the choice is yours. All right. Number 8, we got Streamline, if you can. So I try not to spend too much time doing tasks that somebody else can do. And what that means is I don't like to keep repeating tasks that I've already learned that somebody else can probably do. So for instance, like Craigslist posting. That's something that you can do yourself, but it might be easier to hire somebody to do it for you. There's a lot of people out there who need work, who need money, who need to get a good start. You can outsource these jobs these days. If you don't have the money or the time, continue to do it. But I would try to go for, higher KPIs or trying to find higher KPIs and higher ROIs elsewhere than trying to spend a lot of time doing things that might not give you a high ROI. So that's kind of my hint for that. Also, there's a lot of things you can do to start streamlining, like automation. In some cases, it is a little, I guess it's a little gray hat. But in most scenarios, not most, but in some scenarios, it's actually very helpful, will help you a lot. Like for instance, the contextual targeting with Pitchbox is super helpful, and it definitely helps other people collaborate with you, helps you get good information. And I wouldn't say in the end that's really that bad of a thing. Okay. Super help. Next, we got 9. Number 9, understand a little bit about similar niches like social media marketing, email marketing, search engine marketing, A/B testing, conversion rate optimization, all that good stuff. By learning a little bit about this stuff, you actually get a better understanding of like online marketing in general, and kind of like where your top KPIs would be. And it also helps like your overall online marketing campaigns, because there's a lot of things that actually can help contribute to your SEO, like branding through social media marketing, remarketing through search engine marketing, or branding through search engine marketing, doing A/B testing to start testing your different audiences. There's a ton of stuff that comes out of learning this other stuff. Of course, email marketing is very helpful. You don't necessarily have to spend all your time learning how to do this stuff, but it is helpful to know like what's possible for you, so that you can start either outsourcing the work or getting other people to help you with this work. Especially like with web design, I've got a lot of help by outsourcing people who do web design, because I don't specialize in that at all. Okay, number 10, don't get outdated. So I usually just type in something like SEO news every couple days or every week. I actually type it in like every day. But if you don't have to do that often, but it is important to see what's coming out for updates. Also, it's important, if you can, just try to get familiar with like the new algorithms that are coming out, like RankBrain, understand semantic search. Shouldn't take you too long to understand all this stuff. I mean, maybe like the advanced parts, but if you can just start reading a couple articles about these new algorithms, it's definitely going to help you take your SEO game to the next level. Okay, and number 11, and this is most important, don't question yourself. So SEO can be very difficult to stay motivated with, because it's so competitive and there's so many people out there who do it. I mean, not in comparison to some other industries, but in in the world of the internet where you're seeing this stuff every day, it's really easy to like lose your motivation, because you can think like, oh, well, everybody, this person's way better than me. I'll never be good as, as Chase, or I'll never be as good as whoever else. It doesn't matter if you're as good as me or as somebody else or whoever. What matters is that you start learning a niche that works for you. Like, for instance, you can get really skilled at local SEO, and you could start learning way more about local schema markup and things that would provide tremendous value to other people that you could be helping, that I would never be able to know because I don't spend all my time learning that stuff. So you can dive into all these different categories of SEO or social media marketing or whatever you want to learn and get really good at it, because there's always new things that you can start doing. There's always new updates. There's always something out there that you can invent. So it doesn't matter if you're the best, it just matters that you're good. And some of this stuff takes work, but honestly, you can learn a lot more about something that I would probably never know in literally, or anybody else would ever know in literally like a month, just by spending a good amount of time trying to read up, trying to watch videos, trying to watch tutorials. You guys are coming to me all the time with new tools, new techniques, all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And that's what's so cool about having this community. So, if this, I don't know where I was going with that. I also put in here, in the end, it only really matters if you're able to help people's businesses out in ways those business owners wouldn't be able to do themselves. And I put in there with white hat SEO, because if you think about it, there's tons of businesses, whether it be local or national, that could be getting more clients, could be getting, more traffic, could be getting higher rankings, could have lower bounce rates, could have all these things. But the fact that maybe you don't think you're helpful is getting in the way of you helping them or trying to outreach to them, or, whatever you think. You have to let your ego go and think, okay, this is something that I could really be helping somebody with. This could be really helping their business. I should spend the time trying to learn this stuff so I can be more helpful to other people in the long run and provide value to them that maybe somebody else wouldn't be able to provide. And it doesn't matter if you are a pro or if you're just kind of good at something. Just by learning like basic stuff like this, you're definitely going to be able to help some people out. So the last thing I have to say is good luck, and also just keep staying on top of it. This industry isn't necessarily easy, but it's not necessarily the most hard thing to go after if you just spend a little bit of time working on your stuff, working on your skills, and spending the time learning. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. And that's pretty much it. I'm surprised it went by that fast. I thought it was going to be a lot longer than this, but that's going to be it for today. I will definitely see you guys in the next video. And until then, happy SEOing.